Hello, beautiful people. Today let's discuss the balance council changes. Sorry that I'm doing this that late, but unfortunately I was kind of busy and it took me some time to get to this. So anyway, so first let's start with power increase. So the first card it's Yennefer Illusionist, and I think this is a very good change. But although it was changed, as you can see, it's already like 11 days after the changes. And to be honest with you, I haven't even played against one deck with this card. So it means that maybe it still needs some kind of a buff. Maybe it would be more than advisable to give it one more power. Then it would make a huge difference, because so far, as you can see, this is card which is still very rare. Gabor Zigrin, I think that we are facing some kind of a community who love these people, they really love dwarves, and they buff dwarves every single month. I think also this is a very good change. This is although this is a very strong card, and as you can see with the resilience and also with the immunity, because you can it's not like necessarily you need to draw this card in first or the second round. You can also use this card in the third round, because this card has this engine ability, and especially with immunity, it's kind of great. So what I would say, maybe it's good. Maybe there's still like I would say a space for dwarves to be better. So I would definitely also agree with this change. Blue Boy Lugos, also a very good change. Right now this card seems very strong. 7 points of provision with 7 points of power, which gives you 14 damages in total. I know that they are random, but if you think about it, that's pretty a lot. And I would say this is a very strong card right now. Ves, still not strong enough, although it got stronger this season, but I would say this card at least needs 1 point of power more, and then it would be playable, because to be honest with you, I have never seen this card played against, and even after these changes, 11 days so far, I haven't seen this card even once. Then we have Imperial Golem. This is a buff only for obviously Nilfgaard, because this card is only in Nilfgaard decks. I would say this is also a good change, because sometimes unfortunately you can draw a card which is like, let me say, at 9 points of power or something. Then this card is kind of trashy. This is like gamble, but definitely it's a good change. Etriel, amazing change with Murlega. So finally we will see these cards, and to be honest with you, I have faced a few decks with this combo. Sly Seductress, I really like this change. Finally it got stronger at 4 points of power. That wasn't strong enough, and basically people, they were removing these cards automatically once they see it. Right now it's definitely much stronger, with all this also ability that you can gain a shield. This is a very strong and decent card. Bernacle Brawler, I agree totally with 4 points of power and 5 points of provision. Definitely this is too much. Right now 5 and 5, this is I think the sweet spot, and it should stay like this. And please don't make any changes with this card anymore, because it makes absolutely no sense to make it worse and unplayable. Magpie, great change. Although I still haven't seen this card, because this is a card that definitely needs it needs to stay on board. That's the first thing. It's only meant for certain cards, so I would say this is kind of random. 4 points of power, it's not that good. Maybe if it was at 5 points of power, it would be much better, but as you know, any kind of a bomb or removal can destroy this card after 1 round, so it's not that good. Maybe 5 plus 5, that would be the sweet spot. Now, decrease of power. Torres, yes, I really agree with this change. Definitely this card, once it's played in the first round, it changes everything, and it's very difficult to play against this decks with double cross or with enslave. Once this guy will use this spying ability on 3 decent units. For instance, I was playing once against a guy like this, and he gave 3 of my constructs spying ability. So obviously not only he could play 3 of them, but also what he could do with Terra Nova, he could also play a 4th one, and so on and so on. So it was a complete mess. And if you face a deck like this and he has 3 good targets, basically you can just press exit and enter. Yeah. Living Armor, I really like these changes. I think this season I will also vote for this card to be at 7 points of power and 10 armor. I try to make the card stronger, not weaker, and this is like one of these cards that can be voted every month, even up to 1 point of power, and still obviously it will be good. Then Justiana, I really agree with this change. The pirates are all over the game. I don't know how many times I played against pirates this season, but this is definitely the most common deck right now. And sometimes I just play 3 games, and out of 3 games, 3 games they are against pirates. So you can imagine how crazy it is. So I think this is a very good change. Then we have Van Odifir, and definitely a good change. This is a card that can basically destroy the game, and after he will destroy a card like Fukushia, Renfrey, etc., then basically you don't have any chances to compete with the opponent, or you have to be very lucky to compete. Nausicaa, I don't want to comment on this one. Kingslayer, yes, I also agree with this change. I know that it's pretty random, but since the teleports right now, they are once again at 4 points of provision, plus one of them can be created by using V-Goats, so you have at least 5 of them. So it means that you can destroy 5 cards of your opponent, and some of them might be very crucial. I know this is a random card, but definitely I prefer this card to be at 3 points of power, and maybe we will not see meals that often anymore, because for me this is not maybe even very annoying, but it like destroys the spirit of the game, because if you play against a deck like this and basically all of your golds they are destroyed, then I mean, what's the point of playing? It's not fun at all. Musicians of Blaviken, and I don't agree with this change. I think it should be at 3 points of power, because right now at 2 points of power this card it's very rarely play, although obviously with pirates it's always included. So pirates, they definitely they received some kind of a nerf because of this change, so at least this. Traveling Priestess, I also agree with this change. I think this is definitely the way that the gwent should be transferred, and if you think about it, sometimes you have 10 charges, so for only 4 points of provision you have a unit that can play for even 13 points, plus if you have a setup with the Tridam and so on, then you can even play for over 20 points. Demon Worship, nice change. Maybe we will see this card more often, so definitely I agree with this one. Mage Assassin, I think right now it's okay, but to be honest with you, if you think about it, Nilfgaard has the best thinning cards, and not only this, but also the Hound Pack, plus the Blight Makers, and so on and so on. So if you think about it, the best thinning options are in Nilfgaard, definitely, and there is nothing that can compete with Nilfgaard. So so no mulligans for Nilfgaard. This is definitely also a good change. So if it has to stay at 4 points of provision, so at least 1 point of power. And then provision increase. Battle trends, I agree with that kind of changes. I really like if the leader ability is being buffed. So right now, although it was changed, we don't see that often battle trends in the game. So I think it didn't have a huge impact, because although the battle trends got buffed, some of the cards that are also included in the deck with battle trends, they got nerfed. For instance, Otker. Fruits of Isgit, I was voting for this change. I think there was no point of keeping Fruit of Isgit at 13. I would also say that even at 14 they are not that good, and I know that people, they try to come up with some kind of good ideas with Fruits of Isgit, but it's not a control deck. So if you think about it, it's very difficult to create a control deck. I would say even at 15 it's gonna be still okay. Renfrey, I don't see a point of changing Renfrey into 15. I think that people, they are really fed up with this card, but I don't agree. I think it should be at 14, or if at 15 it should have at least 6 points of power. Novigrad, I don't agree with this change. I think this is an overspill. Right now, this change made this card unplayable. I haven't seen this card so far in this season. Outcare, I also don't agree with this change. I think at 12 it was kind of alright, although it was used not in the way it should be. So it wasn't used for alchemy, but it was used obviously for pirates. So at least this. Krach, I was voting for this change every season. Finally, it's at 11 points of provision, so that's exactly where it should be from the very beginning. With 7 points of power, I think this is a very strong card, and not many cards, if any, can compete with this card. With if it was 6 and 11, that would be perfect. I think even at 7 and 11, it's still very strong. Jan Calveit, yes, there was no point of like changing this and then going back and so on. I think 7 and 11, this is the sweet spot, and it should stay like this. Fallen Knight, I don't know what to think about this change. I know that at 5 points of provision, it was overused and it was included in every single deck. So maybe, to be honest with you, this is a kind of alright, and maybe it should stay like this, not to be included in every single syndicate deck. Slave Driver, I was voting for this card to be at 6 points of provision every single month, so I think this is the sweet spot right now. It should stay like this. Whisper of Domblatana, I think they are preparing this card to be changed once again, and I think next month it will have 4 points of power and 6 points of provision, and that's where they are heading. So that will be probably the change next month. I'm guessing, but I'm not sure, but definitely at 6 points and 3 it's unplayable at all, so we will not see this card at all. Maybe the first change will be at to change it to 4 points of power, and maybe in next month it will be at 5 points of power. I guess definitely they will try to change it at least once to have 4 points of power. Okay, then we have Decrease, Magic Compass. I think it's alright. Definitely we'll see this card quite often, and to be honest with you, this season I see it definitely quite often in the skellige decks. Usurper Officer, I agree with this change. This card is being played very rarely, so I would say that 6 and 11, this is also a sweet spot. It should stay like this. Princess Ada, I also agree with this change. Finally it got buffed. We couldn't see this card almost at all, so I think this is a very good change. Casimir, I was voting for this card. Finally it's 10. As you can see, although it was changed and it received a buff, it's not being played at all, so I think definitely this is a very good change. Plague Maiden, I also agree with this change. Very rarely played card. Right now I think it will be used quite often, especially with Tuggle, so we will see this card I would say maybe in some main decks. Bloody Baron, a very good change. Maybe we will even see this deck, this card in Necker decks. We will see how it's gonna go, but so far I haven't seen this card even once. Philippa, also a very good change. After all the changes in the game, this card was not played at all, and it was like completely forgotten. So very good change. Then we have Shaping Nature, a very good change also. At 9 points of power, it was basically not played at all completely. I have seen this card maybe once every 2 months, and that was it. So I think at 8 it's definitely much better, although I don't see this card almost at all. I have faced a deck with this card only once, so it seems like it didn't change a lot. Open Sesame, yes, exactly, that's where it should be, so I completely agree with this change. Teleportation, I also agree with this change. So to be honest with you, I agree with probably 90% of the changes. I think that was the best balanced council so far. So this is the direction where we should go, and I'm kind of surprised that it's that good. And I don't remember a balanced council like this since the very beginning. So I'm very glad to comment on these changes this month, and hopefully it will stay like this. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your time and support. Please like, subscribe, and comment, guys. In the next video, and the last announcement, guys, please go to the nearest shelter and adopt the dog. Thank you very much, guys. Bye bye.